Dear me, I know we haven't always been the best of friends, and I've taken a lifetime to try and understand you and all you are. I've tried to take care of you, but sometimes you've frustrated me. Sometimes decisions you've made have been foolish, although I know you were only trying to do what was best with the information you had at the time. I always feel like you could be trying harder, doing more, juggling the plates you are holding with more grace than enthusiasm. And yet I'm grateful and proud of you that you're still going. Despite the 2025 we've had, you're still trying your best to show up, even if your best isn't as good as I'd like it to look. Even if your best isn't the same as it was a year ago. Sometimes I romanticize a past version of you, a version where I edit out the heartache and only remember the good parts, where I can chastise you for not being who you were then, whilst forgetting the flaws and things you've learned along the way. The things you've actually improved and don't struggle with anymore. It's funny how with time you can forget the bad things and only cherish the things you feel you lost, not the many things you've gained. I know change doesn't happen overnight, but there are some things I'm trying to reform, reshape, and you aren't relenting. It sometimes feels like we're stuck in a tug of war between me, myself, and I. But that's where we need to allow our Saviour to do the work. Drop the rope, surrender on our knees, and know that however much we may push and tug, there is only one true path to peace, and it doesn't involve persistence but grace. It doesn't involve frustration but compassion, and it doesn't involve self-hate but love. So as much as we may sometimes disagree, argue, toil, and try and understand situations and circumstances that don't always make sense, make it your mission to learn to love yourself. Not in a self-promoting, self-indulging sort of way, but in the most purest sense of the word. To forgive yourself when you make mistakes, to correct but not punish, to persist but not be driven, to be disciplined but not legalistic, to live and not to die, to have peace that by loving yourself, you can love others around you better. That success is not defined by achievement alone, but by how the kindled love inside can spread to passionate bursts of beautiful creativity that not only blesses your soul, but those around you too. So yes, I have started dating myself. That sounds so strange, but this video is kind of about exploring that relationship with myself. And I know some of you have asked how I approach dancing now that I'm back from being injured, and that really does involve what it's like that relationship with yourself is so important, and it's actually something I've spoken a lot in the injury mentoring course as part of the Make It Happen Academy, which I will talk about in a little bit, but I digress. I think I'm reaching the point in my recovery where frustration is starting to creep in. I think you had the honeymoon stage of just being excited to be back, being grateful for my body allowing me to do things again. And now I'm getting back into the cycle of being very hard on myself, harsh on myself. It's like, no, I've been back a while now. These things shouldn't still be difficult and causing me issues. I should be able to do this and I should be able to do that. And I guess the word should is quite a dangerous one, because you are where you are and every day is different. Some days you can do it and some days you struggle a little bit more. And just because I'm not injured anymore doesn't mean I'm not going to still have days where I struggle and things aren't going so well and the body isn't giving me as much as I want it to. So I think cultivating self-compassion with myself is something I'm really trying to work on. I can't say I'm great at it, but I'm working on it. And that is something that Nicole Sabella from the Nutrition Body Confidence course told me and taught me actually through that course. So make sure to check that out. You have to be your own best friend, especially in an industry such as dance, gymnastics, sport, or to be frank, any industry, any high achieving, high pressure industry. You have to be the one believing yourself, pushing yourself forwards, because if you don't believe in you, sometimes no one else will. So self-belief starts with you, starts with investing in yourself and believing in yourself, which I know is super tough, especially on days where you just feel like you're not bringing it, no matter how hard you try. In fact, sometimes you try even harder and it just makes it worse. So that's what I'm trying to teach myself at the moment, is actually like sometimes just taking a step back, taking a breather and being like, okay, things aren't going as well as I want them to at this precise moment, but the best thing I can do is take a step away, breathe, and approach it again with a fresh mindset, fresh motivation, and fresh energy. That is why I started dating myself. And that just means like the last couple of weeks I've taken myself out for coffee and I've sat with my thoughts, I've sat with my plans, and I've just taken time to allow myself to feel or think whatever I'm thinking. Sometimes all the thoughts come up in the middle of ballet class, which is super unhelpful because I'm trying to learn the exercise, apply technique, and think about the things I want to improve. I don't have time to think about my feelings as well in that moment. So I'm giving myself time and my brain time to feel and think. I think a lot of times with emotions, especially when we're busy with jobs and we're busy with school, we like push down all of our emotions because we don't have time to think or worry about them in that moment. And you just bottle them up until people like to use like a kettle as an illustration. It gets to a point where it boils over. So you have to take a moment to kind of release that pressure or whatever, things you're feeling. Give yourself moments to let them out, take a breather. And so that's what I've been doing recently, is taking myself out and allowing myself to feel whatever I've been feeling during the week, even if it's just 10 minutes of your day. Some people might say that's being mindful. For me, I'm just trying to make it a daily practice. Sometimes just writing out exactly how I'm feeling about myself. This is very much in retrospect to my relationship with myself, because I'm finding I'm getting very frustrated with me, and that says a lot about my relationship with me. So that is a new thing that I'm exploring since my injury. I think before I used to always just blame it on, well, it's the atmosphere and the environment and it's really tough and I feel high pressure. And now I'm like, oh, actually, it doesn't matter what environment I'm in because I spent a whole year outside of the ballet studio. It's actually something going on internal and we can work on it and improve. And the more I'm self-compassionate to myself, the more that's going to show to others. And I think that I wrote that in the poem. It's like the more you can cultivate self-love for yourself, the more that can be like transmitted to other people, which actually, to be honest, is what dancing is in itself. The love and passion you have for your art form being transmitted through your movement. So that is something I'm exploring. I'm also learning a lot about like projection. Like sometimes people will project their stress onto you, and I'm very much someone who feels other people's emotions. I'll take it on, and sometimes if there's a stressful situation and someone talks to you, maybe in a bit of a sharper tone, I will take that on and be a bit more sensitive to that. And so I'm trying to learn in situations when there is maybe some projection going on to just take a step back and assess the situation. Don't take things on unnecessarily, otherwise it can get like a lot, again, as I said, the boiling pot coming over. So that is something else I'm working on. The third thing I guess I'm working on is it's really easy to compare yourself to other people. Compare other people that have maybe been on the same sort of, joined at the same time as you or the same age as you. And I think having an injury, that's really a struggle because you've been set back maybe because of being off for so long, and that can really get you down sometimes. And I think that is something I've started to have to believe in myself, that man, I'm on my own journey, I'm on my own path, and that's okay. Like, it doesn't undermine what I've achieved or what anyone else has achieved. I'm doing it in my own time, and maybe my body and my journey is just going to take a bit longer. And actually there's nothing wrong with that. I always think, I don't know if I said this in a previous vlog, but when you make a stew, often the longer you kind of let it boil and marinate, and like a fine wine, the longer it takes to ferment, the tastier it is. And so I'm thinking for myself, I'm like a fine wine. I'm taking my time to mature, and that's okay. And actually, in the end, hopefully the finished product is going to be something that's been really well taken care of, well cultivated. And so when you do get your time to shine, you'll actually have all the assets and all the strength to be able to really put your best foot forward. So I'm really trusting the process, trying to stay focused on my journey, and knowing that when when the stew has just got to the right amount of flavour, that's when it's going to be ready to be eaten and enjoyed. Bit of a funny way to put it, but that's something I like to think about when I'm struggling with the fact that I feel like, maybe because of this injury I've got behind, blah, 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 blah. No, I'm just taking my time, it's my journey, and I'm owning it. But comparison doesn't just stop there with comparing yourself to others around you. Sometimes I find that I compare myself to myself. Sometimes I compare myself to how well I danced a couple of years ago before my injury. And that's also really unfair because that was a different version of me. And there's something in our brains that often we remember only the good parts. So when I think about to a couple of years ago, I'm like, maybe I was stronger, maybe I was, more fit or had more stamina. But I forget, wow, now I feel like I have a much better approach to the way I'm training. I feel much more sustained during my rehearsals. I feel mentally more on my game for longer periods during the day, which I'm not really regarding that when I think back. So sometimes you can only think of like things that I was better back then, but in reality you're only remembering the good parts. You're not actually remembering the things that you were struggling with back then. Perhaps some of the things you were struggling with back then you were like, I just wish I had this or that, and you're actually living in that reality now, which is certainly for me some things that I wish I could have figured out back then. I'm actually living in the reality of that now. But you always want what you can't have, and it's not a nice way to live, constantly unsatisfied, frustrated. I think as a dancer we can never fully be satisfied with our technique or where we are because we need to keep pushing forwards. There is no end point to this. But when it starts to teeter into frustration and kind of, how would you put it? Self-hatred would be way too strong of a word for it. But where you're just constantly tearing yourself down, telling yourself you're not good enough, that is where it's unhelpful. You're not helping yourself. You're actually harming yourself and your progress. So I think, yes, learning from the past, but not looking back and wishing for it again, especially after an injury. I think that's a really tough moment. Again, injury mentoring course would be really helpful for you. The links are in the description. But like pushing forward to the future and knowing, actually, no, I've learned from all this stuff. And that past self of me is still there because I've lived it. And I have all the assets from that to move me forwards. Again, my stew is just getting more and more flavour and thickness, and it's still in your stew. So all that work that you did is not lost, it's still there. And in that same thought, taking moments each day to intentionally be proud of something that you did. Sometimes I've been having like a few bad classes where I've been tired and I'm like, nothing's going right and everything's wrong. And then I maybe do a good pirouette or something I've worked on was better. And I've been trying to like stop for a moment and be like, oh no, I was happy with that. Yeah, the rest of it, we've got some work to do. But actually, I applied something I've been working on in that pirouette and I'm proud that I did that. So taking those intentional moments to take pride in what you're doing is going to help boost yourself up and continue building that self-belief in yourself. 2 more things before we finish today, but something else I've been pondering and learning about is actually technique is important, form is important, but the way you feel when you dance or do something is almost equally as important, because that feeling is transmitted to an audience member, to what they're watching. Like if you're feeling calm while you're doing a role, you can see it. If you're feeling confident while you're doing a role, you can see it, even if it's not directly transmitted through the movement. There's a feeling and a vibe that you get off a performer. So I'm trying to explore the feeling of the way I dance as well as the movement itself. So when I step out doing something new, maybe in this Nutcracker, is to feel confident when I go into a role and feel calm, because that emits a different energy. And that is something I'm trying to learn as I mature as a performer. And lastly, something I'm trying to apply this Nutcracker season in all this self-reflection. You can hear all the self-reflection coming through, but is the thought that self-discipline is actually an act of self-love. I think I've been on a journey with self-discipline. I felt like I probably took it to too much of one extreme at one time, where everything had to be done by the letter, by the rule, to a point where life became very small and restricted. And in my injury, kind of took a step away from that and tried to learn kind of a whole new way of approaching everyday life. But then it's like, okay, but where do you draw the line with that? Where is the line in the sand between self-discipline and being lazy, or self-discipline and not taking care of yourself? And so that's something I've been doing more intentionally. For example, I've been sweating a lot in rehearsals, and I get to the end of the day and really I love my soda, guys. I really love my soda. That's like one of my habits that's not my proudest. I love Pepsi Max. And in the evenings, really what I want to do is open up a lovely fizzy Pepsi Max and watch some Netflix at the end of the day. But I started realizing, at first I was like, well, that's self-love, because that's something I'm doing for myself that like I really enjoy, and I just feel, this brings me joy, so this is good for me. Which at times it's important to treat yourself. It's important to have moments where you are relaxed and you're doing things just out of pure enjoyment. But on something like that, an act of self-discipline and an act of self-love is actually, I would like to do that, but I'm going to take my electrolytes in the evening. I'm drinking a lot of water to kind of, rehydrate myself after a long day of rehearsals. That is self-love to myself. And also in rehearsals, being more intentional about filling my water bottle up between rehearsals. Before I didn't want to I was like, I don't have time, I'm rehearsing and I don't want to think about it. But actually taking a 5-minute break to go and fill up your water bottle, make sure that you're staying hydrated, isn't, me not being disciplined and taking 5 more minutes to rehearse. Is actually an act of self-love, an act of self-discipline to ensure that you're going to last the whole run of Nutcracker. So things, very small things, but just noticing, okay, I need to take care of myself, and that takes self-discipline, and it's actually an act of self-love. And so that brings me to the conclusion of this video, where I really wanted to talk about the Make It Happen Academy. This December, I'm doing a sale for you guys. I believe it's one of the best gifts you could give to anyone this Christmas. It is the all-in-one platform to kind of get you from where you are now to where you want to be. I know that I've spent a lot of my career frustrated and unsure. I've had so many question marks of why can't I get to the next level? Why is there not a roadmap to get me there? And that is what the Make It Happen Academy is all about. In the Make It Happen Academy, you have clear guidance of being super intentional with your time and your planning, to how to deal with comparison. We go much more into depth about how to go about that in the Make It Happen mindset within the Academy. And honestly, some of the keys within the courses were absolute game changers for me. And I wouldn't have got back from my injury. I wouldn't have got into ballet school. I wouldn't have got into a ballet company without them. So they are so unbelievably key to how I've got to where I've got to today, and I think they could really, really help you too. That's not to mention the strength and flexibility courses that are bespoke and fitted to help you stay consistent in your training, because a lot of the time people don't progress because they don't stay consistent. And in the Make It Happen Academy, it is tailor-made to help you stay on track and towards your goals and dreams like never before. There's a nutrition and body confidence course, because I know so many dancers have talked to me about how that has really affected their training and their progress. So we've covered all bases. There's also an injury mentoring course there that helps if you're going through an injury period and you're really struggling. The community is also there to support you. We share our wins, our struggle points, and I'm there to help you every step of the way. Within the community, I'm always responding to messages, I'm giving you advice, I'm giving you little keys, bits and bobs for you to go from where you are now to your dreams and goals. So give the gift of dreams this Christmas. Make 2026 the year that your dreams become a reality. Don't just keep wishing for it. Let's work together, create a plan, and get you there. Honestly, when I invested in myself, I invested in a YouTube course to get me from where I was with YouTube to where I wanted to be. I honestly was like, whoa, that's like a huge investment. That's not worth it. I can't do it. I have never blinked an eyelid since I went for it and invested in myself, because the things that I was trying to figure out were like plain as day when I entered that course. And I was like, wow, why did no one tell me this before? So investing in yourself or investing in someone else this Christmas could be the greatest gift you could give yourself or anyone else. As I said before, there is a special discount throughout December so that you can get your 2026 on track before we even start. Sale ends soon, so make sure you click the link in the description. Do not miss out, because this could be the best thing you will ever do. My Academy members are already saying this is making such a huge difference to their lives and their training. That could be you as well. It just takes one click of a button and a big dream. And even if you don't have a big dream yet, that is what we help you cultivate within the Academy. So if you're interested, please comment down below. If you've got any questions, I will get back to you. I will happily email you all the information. You can just email me at HannahMartinRG@gmail.com. I'm happy to get back to any of your questions, and I'm super excited to hopefully go on this journey with you so we can make it happen. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did make it all the way to the end, make sure to comment this emoji, and thank you for listening to me rabble for the last 20 minutes or so. It's been a pleasure talking with you all, and I can't wait to take you on the Nutcracker season. We open on Friday, and it's about to be 3.5 weeks of absolute craziness. So let's get going. I will take you all on this journey with me. Make sure you've hit that subscribe button, and always do not forget to dream big and make it happen.